Recently, I've been imagining what it would be like to treat my family, my future woman, my future children, and just myself in general. What would it look like to treat myself and the people that I love as if they were truly valuable people and as if myself was a truly valuable person? Can I start doing that now? What can I start doing now to start treating myself as if I truly matter to myself? And this is something that I've been practicing for over a year, but recently I've begun to get more into depth on the topic. I'm starting to get more specific. I'm outlining certain goals that I want to orchestrate and to cultivate within my family dynamic, what kind of personal precepts I guess you could say, that I would have in my household, and how I would be able to show my family that in this life you are not going to be sinless, but you can sin less. And you're going to meet people that are soulful, and you're going to meet people that are soulless. And you have to know the difference. And anybody that is on the spiritual path right now, if you are gaining edification from this video, please go ahead and like, comment, or subscribe to the channel. That is the best way to support this channel this time. And I do appreciate all of the donations that I've received recently through Cash App and Venmo and Bitcoin and other routes. I really do appreciate the contribution, and just on the YouTube Super Chat in general as well. That's been just a great blessing, and I'm just pleased to be able to share these insights and let God use me as a vessel for His peace and His will. And so without further ado, let's go further on into the video. So why should you imagine yourself being a valuable human being? What is the utility in that? Is there utility in that? Is there utility in imagining yourself to be the confident, athletic, classy, bold, goal-oriented, and capable individual? What is the utility in that, opposed to imagining yourself to be a slothful, bitter, resentful, anger projecting, resentful projecting individual that is rooted in shame and fear, but does not know what it truly means to overcome shame and fear? Now, Mike Tyson said something in a recent interview of his. He said, if you look at me, like I am fear. I am the fear itself. And he said that he's afraid of other people 1,000 times more than they are afraid of him. And that's why he's so aggressive. And when he said that, you know, Mike Tyson has really become a wise person. And I know a lot of people don't understand or maybe think differently, but I would encourage you to watch his recent interviews and just listen to what he has to say now. Because obviously, yeah, the guy was a freaking savage that just practically executed people in the ring in boxing, you know, in the 80s, 90s era. But the point is that he knows himself that he is also not sinless, but he's choosing to sin less. And, you know, you may be gifted in whatever realm or modality you are. And that's fantastic. That's great. I encourage you to pursue that gift, and I encourage you to give that gift to the people insofar as you can manage, and to constantly renew your own mind. Right? There's a verse in Romans, is it 12:10, I believe? I'll have to look it up and leave a link in the description below, but in Romans, it says something like, in order to be perfect, you must constantly renew your own mind. Now, I'm paraphrasing that, but I'll leave the verse below to get the more specification version of it. But you have to constantly renew your own mind, and in renewing your own mind, you also renew your own body. And so you can have, I've said this before and I'll say it again, you can have a great body. You can have a fantastic body, but is your mind right? Are you meditating? Are you actually focused? Are you taking the proper steps to receive and make sure that you are getting enough rest to the point to where you can actually perform at 80 to 100%, minimum 80%. Like, I don't even work on anything if I can't do at least 80%, like maximum effort. And the reason for that is because a lot of the times, if I'm at like 75%, and I'm just not going to be able to generate the certain amount of ideas that I'll be able to. Now, obviously, there are going to be times where you don't have a choice. You can't stop until the job's done. And that's fine. I mean, anybody that's done consultations with me knows that I don't just stop at the hour mark. I go until the session is complete and the session is whole. I don't want anybody to feel or even think that, we're like those weird therapists or something like that, where as soon as the 50-minute mark hits, no matter if you were getting into something actually really good and actually really cultivating some self-development, oh, it's 50 minutes, we have to stop. No, I say screw that. Like, if you're going into detail on something that needs to go into detail, that needs to be addressed, by all means, then we're going to do it. Because that's part of not just imagining yourself to be the person that is of value, but recognizing how you distreated yourself, how you didn't treat yourself, rather, how you were disinterested in treating yourself as if you were someone valuable. For too long in my life, I did not want to, or didn't even know how to treat myself as if I was valuable. And so now there are still times where I'll go somewhere, and if I'm going to like pick out a specific pair of clothes or something, like my shirts, like I'm a pretty simple oriented person when it comes to shirts. Like I got a basic t-shirt from Walmart or Kohl's or something, and that's it. That's that. But my jeans or just any kind of other pants in general, I make sure to put a little bit more effort into the quality, because I know that those kinds of things need to be longer lasting. And I know that t-shirts, though they're super affordable, they're not going to be like a simple white t-shirt or a simple black t-shirt like I've got on now. I'm okay with that, and I like it like that. I like keeping myself simple. Now, there are going to be times, obviously, where I wear something a little bit more dressy or a little bit more classy. I have dress shirts, I have Oxford shirts, and I've got a vest. I've got khakis, I've got slacks, but for the most part, I like to keep things simple and only save those kinds of things for special occasions. Now, I also make sure to clean my shoes. Like, I have a toothbrush. I have a specific toothbrush that I use to clean my white Vans. So I get the toothpaste, which is a separate toothpaste, and I actually scrub my white Vans clean every time I wear them, because I do not want those things to look bad. Like, I wear those when I'm feeling like just fresh. I like to feel fresh when I wear those. But apart from that, in the summertime, I'm usually just wearing some kind of sandal, and usually like Chacos or something. And I highly recommend Chacos or any kind of like sandal like that. Yeah, they're a bit more expensive, but the ones that I've had for years, and I wear them almost every day in the summer. I can go hiking with them too. I can go in the water with them. Like, they're just an all around quality shoe. And I'm not getting paid for any of these, like any of these. Like, I'm just saying that these are the things that I invest in. I make sure to invest in quality food. Number one, that is the first thing that I invest in as far as quality, like apart from clothes or anything like that, is food. Because if you can invest in good food and good health, then you're going to be fine. Like, as far as because there's a saying that your health is wealth, right? And sure, it's nice to have a lot of nice material things and clothes if you need it. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with wanting to have nice things and earning it. But I think for food specifically, if there were anything that you were not to be super, I think if there was anything you were specifically supposed to focus on in regards to quality, it would be your food intake. And the reason for that is because if you're not eating quality food, you're not going to sustain the kind of health that you need to thrive. And so that's why I like to get steak. I like to get chicken. I like broccoli. I like to get... I also don't like to use olive oil too much. I actually use butter for a lot of my meals because the fat in there is actually really good. The oil for me, like, I don't mind it, but for some reason it can upset my stomach sometimes, and it just makes me gain a little bit more weight easier, I suppose, too. Like, I don't know exactly why, but butter is, for me, much better option. It might be for you as well. But taking care of yourself overall, going to the gym, making sure that you're eating properly after the gym, because that's something that I overheard these guys at the gym this morning, because I go to the gym at 5 a.m. and there's these guys there about 6:30, and they were complaining about how early it was and how everything is just, I didn't even eat anything beforehand. It's like, man, I never eat before my workouts in the morning. I like to fast when I work out. I like to do cardio beforehand and to just burn that extra calories and just to get my blood flowing. And then I go to the weights after that. And I usually do about 30 minutes to an hour and a half of cardio beforehand nowadays. And the hour and a half of cardio, whenever I do that, I'm not going to go as hard on the weights. Like, I'm just not. I'll do more of a, like, maintaining day if I'm doing that amount of cardio. And those are the days that I'll run at least 6 miles minimum. And then I'll play basketball in between there as well to get to the hour and a half. But I want to stay as mentally and physically prepared as possible in the morning. So I do have pre-workout that I do. But other than that, I'm fasting, and I just work out better that way. It might not be for somebody else. You might just have a banana in the morning before you go out. Like I know David Goggins can do that. But I like to, he's the Navy SEAL. I've talked about him before on this channel, but for the most part, I just like to go fasting beforehand. And these guys were talking about what they were going to eat afterward, and they said that they were going to go to freaking Denny's. They're going to go get some pancakes after their workout. It's like, bro, that's not the way to go, man. And I get it. Like, I get it. Like, I worked out. Like, it's fine. Well, yeah, but if you're not going to eat the proper things afterward, your body's not going to recover the way it needs to. And so after my workouts, usually what I'll have is just chicken and broccoli, or I'll have a little bit like a I would say probably a 6 to 9 ounce steak with broccoli, and I'll have a protein shake with that, and that way gets the proteins going, working through my blood system as well. Make sure I have plenty of water as well. I probably drink, man, I would probably, I know I drink at least a gallon of water a day, but I must drink at least a gallon and a half, maybe, minimum. And, that's just part of treating yourself as if you're valuable, is you're making sure that you're taking care of yourself. And you'll notice it. You're going to notice it. And another part of imagining yourself to be quality and treating yourself well is, how do you treat other people? Are you checking in on them, the ones that you actually care about? Do you check in on them? You're like, hey, how do you, like, if you're talking to someone in your relationship per se, like you are in a relationship with this person, say, hey, how do you feel about our emotional connection, or how do you feel about our physical connection? That's something that you can just check in on. And you don't need, as a man, you don't really need to express that a lot. This is something I've said in my consultations. It's that you should, especially as a man, express your emotions as facts, because that way you're able to stay in your frame and you're staying grounded. But the minute that you start acting like, this is going to sound crazy, but the minute you start acting like a woman and talking about I feel this, I feel that, I feel like, that's when you start to lose yourself. That's when you start to lose your grounding. So make sure to use I statements when you're talking about what you do want and what you do not want, or what you do like and what you do not like. So it's better to treat yourself, especially as a man, in regards to emotions, as if they are facts in your psyche. But nonetheless, checking in on your loved ones is important. This is something that I learned growing up that I did not get. And I realize now, within the last 2 years, I would say, the really big importance of maintaining relationships, not just with relationship partners, but with people that you're doing business with people that you are potentially doing business with, people that you are acquaintances with, people that you see every now and again. Now, you don't have to talk to these people if you don't want to. Like, you're obligated. You are not obligated to anybody. You don't owe anybody anything. But I would say that it is good for you to recognize that if somebody is treating you with respect, it's completely okay to treat them with respect back. It is completely okay. And in fact, I would encourage you to treat that person with respect if they're treating you with respect. So this just all comes back to you, man. Like, it all comes back to how you begin to treat yourself. If you are treating yourself as if you are a valuable human being that is worthy of respect and dignity, people around you are naturally going to see that. And some may be haters, but others are going to actually respect that and like that about you, that you actually treat them and yourself with respect. And active listening is another big thing that I've learned is really key in maintaining relationships. Like, rephrasing what they said, but in a way that, like, and this is basic stuff, but rephrasing what they said in a way that uses similar language to make sure that they're being listened to and seen. Because it's just so important for us as human beings to feel heard and seen. And especially if somebody's treating you with respect, like, it's definitely okay to make them feel heard and seen. And that's going to be something that I know for myself I'm going to plan to do in my household down the line, is that my kids will never not know what it's like to feel unheard and unseen. Now, does that mean I'm going to be perfect? No, that does not mean I'm going to be perfect. Again, I'm going to sin less, but I am not sinless. And so I'm going to do my best to make sure. And I'm going to make sure that my family has quality nutrition, that they're well taken care of, first with food, utilities, all that kind of stuff, and then comes everything else. But number one priority is God and health. It's as simple as that. Everything else will kind of follow from that line. So I hope this message was useful and insightful, and encourages you all to treat yourself with a little bit more dignity and respect, and to honor your body. Because when you honor your body, first that starts with your mind. So you're automatically honoring your mind in honoring your body. But in doing that and recognizing it consciously, then you're going to honor your soul. And that's where the real growth happens. So, with that being said, peace be with you. Till next time.